IRS's targeting of conservative groups applying for tax-exempt status. This as the IRS proposes a new rule that would allow it to tighten the rules on these and other groups. Catherine Engelbrecht was invited to Capitol Hill to testify this afternoon. She spoke about how life suddenly changed after she filed with the IRS for tax-exempt status for her conservative-leaning nonprofit. Catherine says that after nearly 20 years of living and doing business in Texas without a single run-in with federal law enforcement of any kind, her personal finances and business dealings became the focus of more than a dozen visits by federal agencies. Republican Congressman Jim Jordan said that is clearly no coincidence, but one Democrat on the panel was quick to respond.
In 20 years of business, OSHA never visited, FBI never visited,
my name,
IRS
Mr.
never
Chairman.
Okay, well, you can respond. Even though I gave you plenty of extra time, I'll give you some more.
Thank you.
You got the gentleman's recognized for a minute.
So where is the proof, though, other than you're connecting dots that may or may not be connected, that OSHA was politically motivated?
I didn't say proof. I'm just saying you would want us all to believe it's a coincidence.
Well, and you want us all to believe that by innuendo there must be something
15 times in a 2-year time frame, 4 different federal agencies visit this lady's place of business, audit her personal and business records, and you expect us to believe that just
I don't expect you to believe. I don't expect you to believe anything. You can believe whatever you choose to believe.
You can believe it's all a coincidence. I refuse to do that.
No, I didn't say that either. I believe in fact-based empirical oversight, and innuendo and drawing conclusions and paranoia do not substitute for fact-based empirical oversight, Mr. Chairman.
Well, here are the facts.
And McCarthyism.
She filed an application for C4 status and subsequently was visited by OSHA, FBI, ATF, and was audited by the IRS. That happened.
Mr. Chairman.
I would just say, Mr. Chairman, you should be on the panel given your views.
Republican Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan was the chair of that committee hearing today, and he is with us now. Congressman, good to see you. And so there, what a spirited exchange, you being accused of paranoia, of McCarthyism, for wondering whether what happened to Catherine was more than just a coincidence. Your thoughts on it?
Well, I mean, what happened to Catherine should frighten every single American. I mean, in 20 years of business, none of those federal agencies had ever visited her business. She files for tax-exempt status. More importantly, her organization is having an impact in making elections fair and better in this country.
And let me just stop you there so we get the viewers up to speed on where you are. She founded True the Vote, which is an organization that tries to prevent voter fraud down in Texas. And she applied for tax-exempt status. Having never been bothered, she has a manufacturing business with her husband. Having never been bothered in their manufacturing business by the feds prior to that point, after she applied for her voting organization, she gets 6 FBI visits, 2 ATF visits, 2 personal IRS audits, 2 business IRS audits, and an OSHA visit. And the OSHA inspector apparently said, I don't even know what I'm doing here. And now you say that is no coincidence, and you say it's not paranoia.
Anyone with common sense in this great country of ours knows that's not a coincidence. The full weight of the federal government in an orchestrated and targeted way came down on this lady, exercising her First Amendment rights to political speech, making our election systems fairer and better, and the full weight of the federal government comes down on them, and my Democrat colleagues say, oh, Shazam, it just happened, it wasn't planned, it wasn't orchestrated, it wasn't choreographed at all. No one with any brain, any common sense will believe that. And Catherine was tremendous. I mean, she was great today. A courageous woman coming forward and telling the truth so the American people know what exactly this government did.
The reason this is significant, but the reason this is significant, among others, is because if this is true, if she was targeted in this way, then it expands it well beyond the IRS and its targeting. I mean, it takes it out. It suggests that the IRS was communicating with other groups in the federal government to try to exact retribution on conservative groups who were very active and disliked, it must be said, by some on the other side, like Catherine's group.
Right. And what it also does is it makes the president's statement on Sunday when Bill O'Reilly interviewed him, where he said there's not a smidgen of corruption, it makes that statement look even more ridiculous.
Now, the point that your Democratic colleagues seem to be making was, you don't have the smoking gun. If you believe this is true, where's the email? Where's the witness? Where's the person who can show us that there was coordination?
I wish we did. We keep digging. Treasury drags their feet. IRS drags their feet and giving us the documents we've subpoenaed. I wish we could get to it. But what we do know is the 41, Jay Sekulow was also in the hearing today. 41 clients he represents The FBI and the Justice Department has not interviewed one of them, not one of the victims. Cleta Mitchell, Catherine's attorney, not any of her clients have been interviewed. And yet the FBI leaks to the Wall Street Journal and says no one's going to be recommended for prosecution. The president says there's not a smidgen of corruption. And the person heading the investigation has a financial interest in the president's success because she gave $6,750 to his campaign. So no wonder the president can be so confident. This is a sham of an investigation. That's what troubles us, particularly now that Catherine has testified and showed us the coordination that took place.
Yeah, the woman overseeing, or at least heavily participating in this investigation, is a maxed-out Obama donor who wants the president to stay in office, apparently, and she's investigating his administration. Congressman, good to see you.
Good to be with you, Megan. Take care.
Well, shortly after the hearing wrapped up, that witness we were just discussing, Catherine Engelbrecht, made what's being called a very unusual move. She filed a formal ethics complaint against Congressman Elijah Cummings. Now, she's accused him of intimidation. He has denied any wrongdoing. The Kelly file reached out to the congressman for further comment, but his office has not yet gotten back to us. Catherine Engelbrecht joins me now. Catherine, great to see you again. So let's advance the story by taking it to the ethics complaint against the congressman. Why bring him into it, specifically?
He's the ranking minority member of that committee, and frankly, Megan, the thought of having to sit before my accuser and be silent in the face of what he did, it was unconscionable.
What did he do?
And so, well, he filed over a period of months, beginning in October of 2012. He filed 3 letters that he sent to me, asserting that he was opening an investigation. He sent this on House Oversight and Government Reform letterhead. But the funny thing is, the way I found out about it was from an LA Times reporter who called for comment after the congressman had done quite a series of cable news shows talking about what he believed to be the activities of True the Vote based on fundamentally flawed information. Didn't call me first, just went public, went to the press on a defamation per se national tour.
Okay, so this is what he says about why he did that. Here he is.
Letters were sent out as the ranking member. I am the ranking member of this committee. I did nothing different than what Mr. Issa has done when looking into situations.
He basically says he had to investigate your group, that protecting the right to vote is very important to him. But as I mentioned before, many on the left do not like groups like yours because they think rather than sniffing out voter fraud, what you mean to do is suppress the vote.
All he would have had to have done was contact us and ask us for our information, but he didn't. He sent a letter and then went public for what was undoubtedly a really healthy publicity bump for him. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, me, a private citizen, not a government employee, not an appointee, I didn't even have my nonprofit status at that point. What was there to oversee?
Yeah.
But he singled me out for his purposes.
And on the subject of that you were there to testify on today, we went through the list with Congressman Jordan: 6 FBI visits, 2 ATF visits, personal audits, business audits, OSHA visits. Right. You heard the exchange. Could this be a coincidence? It's either coincidence or it's paranoia, one or the other. Your thoughts?
I think it's the weaponizing of government, and I think that regardless of your political affiliations, we should all as Americans be very troubled by what we see happening, and I am a living example of exactly what really is happening. And I submit that this goes very deep into the West Wing of the White House.
I should point out that, of course, they've denied that the Inspector General has not attributed this to specific political targeting, but the investigation is ongoing, despite what the president said. There is still a criminal probe that is open right now with the FBI and the DOJ, and it remains to be seen how that will officially come out. Catherine, thanks for being with us.
Thanks so much.